Hello. So for today's persuasive speech, I'm going to talk about how the NBA, in my opinion, has gotten better since the 90s and continues to get better. Um, in my opinion, being healthy and safety on the court is key to, a successful league. And since the 1990s, the amount of fights on court has decreased by far. The physicality of the game has decreased by far. Um, and also, the severity of injury has also decreased by far because of, uh, you know, the knowledge has been expanded on since then, like medical wise. So, first, I'm going to talk about how the game is less physical since, the 80s and 90s. So, there was a rule called hand checking where a defender can put their hand on a player on offense. Um, that was where a lot of physicality was made, and also I think it led to a lot of fouls that were not called back then, which in turn led to players playing dirty back then. So, in 2004, when they abolished that rule, ever since then, fouls have became a bigger factor in the game because players can't put their hands on each other like they used to be able to. What's a foul now was not a foul back then. So that is one way in which the game has changed. Um, another factor into it is injury. Uh, the amount of knowledge that medical wise, that goes into the game has expanded since then, and players can now recover from severe injuries much quicker and um, much more frequently than they used to back then. Like, for example, a player with a ACL tear, for example, back then might take years to recover from that, if they even do recover there, and they wouldn't return the same player. But nowadays, a player can come back from that in like a year, and they'll be the same player. Um, so yeah, those two things really go into it, and I think that's better for the game because a healthy player equals a healthy game. Without the players, the star players, you don't have a good game, and star players thrive off of being able to do what they do without being harmed. So as long as the game is safe, that should be the biggest priority, and that's why I know the game has improved since the 1990s and for what they are now. And yeah, although injuries are still a big thing in the NBA, it's for a different reason, which is also something that can be improved, which has always been there, which is the games are so close to each other and there's not enough time off in between games, so players can still get hurt easily. But I think it definitely improved since back then when you could hand check and foul people without getting a whistle blown at you. So yeah, that's my persuasive speech.